Boys, men, masculinities are not monoliths. We do not experience our gendered experience, what it means to be a man, the same across the board. We might have things that we might share experience of, or share, aspects of our understanding of masculinity with each other. We might have shared aspects of experience, but they're not the same from man to man to man. And again, this might seem commonsensical, but in some of the conversations that I'm seeing, in some of the takes that I'm seeing around masculinity, there are broad, blanket assumptions about what it means to be a man that are bypassing the granularity of intersectionality. And to say that in a way that doesn't sound like I'm trying to just rhyme everything that ends with itty, right? We're bypassing the individuality, or the meaning of what it means to be a man and experience masculinity in boys, men that we engage with, that we serve in the educational context, so that we might be holding space for in the community. And that's important to me, because intersectionality is something that we all have. We're not just gendered as men. We are men in proximity to class identity. We are men in proximity to race or racialization. We are impacted and influenced by our culture. We are impacted and influenced by our learning needs and our learning requirements. We are impacted and influenced by perhaps a disability that we may have that's either visible or not so visible. We are impacted and influenced by the proximity that we have to faith or belief systems that we've learned and that we've been raised within. These all impact and influence how we embody and express our masculinity. And that is important to name, because we're not monolith experiences. We're not a singularity. There is difference, and that difference in conversations around masculinity matters. Because if we're going into spaces and we're trying to implement interventions, we're trying to create space for rich learning environments, but also, where necessary, holding mirrors to experiences that allow people to reflect on who they are and how they might change aspects of who they are, how they might work on aspects of who they are. We have to get the cultural context right. We have to get this experience that surrounds the embodiment of masculinity. We have to see it. We have to acknowledge it. We have to center it. And for me, what intersectionality allows us to do is to be more attuned to that, to be more aware of how experiences might be similar at the surface level, but when you start digging deep into those intersections, you start exploring proximity to different strands of lived experience, racialization, culture, faith, sexuality, disability, etc., then you start really beginning to understand the masculinities in the room and how they've been constructed and how they are constructing themselves at this point in time. We can't allow room, or create room rather, for transformation without first giving space for men, masculinities, young men, teen boys to come in and exist as they are. And what intersectionality allows us to do is to explore that in as much depth and detail as we can, or as much depth and detail as we can sort of extract or encourage to be reflected in these spaces. Because sometimes that awareness isn't there, and that comes with time. But bypassing intersectionality at the expense of this perceived singularity is preventing deeply personal, transformative learning experiences. And I want to speak to that because it's something, again, I don't see discussed enough in conversations that relate to experiences of masculinity.